Thank you for having me here. It's a great privilege to be able to speak in front of you guys. And I'm here to talk to you guys about dreams. And you've just heard Tim about his crazy dreams, and it's about time for me to talk about my crazy dreams. I'm sure that everybody sitting here had dreams when, as a kid, while you were growing up. Some of us wanted to be president, others wanted to be lawyers, doctors, and I really wanted to be a pilot. And I remembered that Top Gun was my favorite movie. I could imagine myself flying an F-14 Tomcat through the sky, shooting down the bad guys. And I was that nerdy kid at the airport pointing out to my parents the difference between a 747-200 and a 747-400. And so my mom drilled it into my head that I had to be really good at both math and science to be able to fly these machines. So I studied really, really hard at school, and perhaps a little too hard when I became nearsighted. And I remembered the doctor telling me the news that I will probably not be able to fly airplanes if I have bad eyes. So I remember I was really, really bummed, and but at the same time I was okay because there were other dreams that was brewing in me. And I was given a second chance when I was in the military. I was in the Air Force Base, and I was going through a series of tests, and when the results came back, I found out that it wasn't because of my lack of understanding of math and science that let me down, but my lack of hand-eye coordination. So I'm glad that they found this out early, and it's also a relief to me because that means I could follow other dreams. And at that time, I began having the dream of becoming a designer. And I was having a lot of conversations with friends and their parents this past couple of weeks, and a lot of them frown upon the idea of following your dreams. They keep telling us that we have to make money, find a stable job, climb the social ladder, and when you have all of that, then you can do whatever you want and go follow your dreams. And it's not just our parents that are telling us that. It's the society, it's our education system, and it's our media. And over again, we're told not to follow our dreams. And so what happens is that we put them away, we bury them, and we never see them again. And then from time to time, you hear about these amazing stories about these inspiring people taking giant leaps of faith, doing the impossible, and then succeeding in what they do. And we admire that, but then we'll look at them and we think, we aren't like them. I can't do that. I can't just drop everything that I have and just walk into the unknown. It's scary. But there's another way to follow your dreams, and that's through projects. And as Tim said, and through all the projects he did, that's exactly what I mean. Are these side projects that you do at home, you do at work, you do with friends, and you do in your man cave or your basement? And that's how we could follow our dreams. And we don't really have to look too far into history to see examples of people following their dreams using projects. One of the greatest examples are the Wright Brothers. They owned and ran a bicycle shop as a way to fund the dream of flight. And finally, in December 17th, 1903, they became the first people to fly. And their dream became their full-time job. And let's fast forward around about 100 years. These guys were part of the board of a broadcasting company. And they had an idea of using SMS to communicate with small groups of people, and they started Twitter. And today, it's worth over $10 billion. And so, for myself, I was following my dreams to become a designer, and I enrolled into my dream school, Rhode Island School of Design. And it wasn't long after that that I got really disillusioned by the idea of becoming an industrial designer. Because all I could see at the end of the day is that I'm designing these plastic things that you find in a holiday catalog. that people get a good laugh at it and then throw away, and then ends up here. I did not want to have anything to do with this. And I don't believe this is what design was for. Unfortunately, at the time, my school didn't have the classes or the resources to help students explore what it meant to be a responsible designer, a socially responsible and environmentally responsible designer. So a couple of my friends from Brown University and Rhode School of Design, we decided to take education into our own hands. And we started a side project called A Better World by Design. What we believed is that for what we can't learn in school, we can learn from the world. And so we started an annual conference in 2008, and we attracted 300 people who believed in what we believed in. And 4 years later, in 2011, we had over 1,000 people come to Providence, Rhode Island from all over the world. And what this project did is to validate my passion and start sculpting and molding my dreams and what it meant to be a designer of the 21st century, what it meant to be a responsible designer. And what happened, and equally as important, is that by doing this project, it opened doors, and we started meeting some amazing people, and led us to some unexpected opportunities. And in 2009, I became a TED Fellow. And at TED, it was like taking a peek into my future, taking a peek into where my dreams could bring me. And that gave me the confidence to start my second project when I was in school. I wanted to rethink what a design consultancy could do. And so I started Big New Ideas with my friend in my last semester of school, knowing that I had the safety of being in school. I didn't have to worry about business plans just yet. I didn't have to worry about balancing the book or getting a paycheck even. I could concentrate on figuring out what Big New Ideas could do. And so we designed Big New Ideas very, very specifically to design tools and strategies to help people build community. Because we believe that community are the drivers behind ideas. And so we have worked with nonprofit clients, for-profit clients, politicians, and different tech startups to help them articulate their ideas and to rally community behind their beliefs and their ideas. And from the beginning, we knew that we had to make space and put resources to following our own dreams, even on top of doing client work. And so here are a couple examples of the projects that we did on the side. On the top right, that's Design for Obama that we started in 2008, where we gathered a group of creatives who believed in Obama to use posters as a medium to express what we believed in. On the top right, that's the nonprofit design jam that I started, where we gathered local creatives and paired them up with local nonprofits, and over a weekend helped them rebrand and rebuild their website. And on the bottom right, that's Monthly Design Review, which is a monthly meetup where designers kind of engage in conversation about kind of what it meant to be a designer. And finally, 1,200 Posters, which is a year-long poster project where we commissioned 12 artists to do unique interpretations of quotes from a book. And so out of the 4 projects that I'm going to be talking about today, 2 of them failed. And it sucked to fail. It's not a good feeling, but it is part of following your dreams. You learn, and you pick yourself up, and you try again. So Monthly Design Review was really an extension of my search of kind of what it meant to be a designer and what our responsibility of a designer in this day and age. And so we built a community, it started to grow, and it started diversifying. And as that happened, we got more and more new people coming in, and then we reacted by changing the topic of discussion, by trying to figure out ways to better serve the community. And 14 months later, we decided to pull the plug because we veered so far off course that we forgot why we were there in the first place. And the lesson that we learned is that sometimes we're so deep in what we do, we forget why we do it. And by taking a step back, we can reallocate those resources and find better ways of following your passion and your dreams. And on the other hand, 1200 posters was a great success. Well, at least in a traditional sense. We finished the project, we have 12 amazing posters, we sold a bunch of it, and we built a community of collectors, and we got great press. But we made some giant mistakes along the way and almost had to shut the project down. And when we started the project, it was when big new ideas have no clients. We have no way of feeding ourselves. And we didn't know where this project was going to go and where it's going to lead us. But the one thing that we do know is that if we were to build community for other people, we have to know how to build community for ourselves. And we needed to keep flexing those muscles even when we didn't have client projects. And that's why we started to do this. And there's an amazing story that happened so halfway through the project. A lady who found us online emailed us after she bought a poster and got it shipped to the wrong address and wondered if we could ship her a new one, and we gladly said yes. And in the same email, she said how much she loved the project, and also she found out later that we were the founders of Design for Obama and wanted to introduce us to her boss. And so we met with him, and he invited us to a party that he was throwing together with some of the big players in the political world. And so when we were there, we were really excited because we met people who believed in what we believed in. And a lot of them, well, some of them became our clients, and others became collaborators and partners in what we did. In fact, this project was so successful, we were asked over and over again to replicate it, to help other people build community, help other people build creative communities. And then we decided that it's about time to take this small project and bring it to the next level. Instead of building small communities for different companies and different nonprofits, we're just going to build one large creative community where all these nonprofits, these companies, and political campaigns should share the collective talent. And today, we're spending most of our time and energy putting this together, and it's called the Creative Action Network. Success is sweet, but it's a journey. And oftentimes, it's laden with failures, and you have to take really small steps, and it takes a long time. And all those things fuels this counter-argument of why spend time working on side projects, especially when you own a company. Why don't you spend time and put that time into revenue-generating projects? Isn't, after all, starting companies all about making money? And how we see is that all these small projects are just small investment that we're hoping for a larger return. And different companies do it differently. Google have this 80-20 model that they use, where they spend 80% of the time working on company work and 20% on projects. And out of that model, they have had Gmail come out of it, AdSense, and Google News. And here's the thing, it's not just all about finding products out of these side projects and making a lot of money. What it did for us is build internal relationships, be closer to our colleagues, and understand what they're thinking. And through that, we built external relationships and also helped our company to see where we could be going in the next couple of years. And so following your dreams are just like doing a science experiment. In science, you have a hypothesis, just like how we start with dreams. And what we do when we have a hypothesis is that we design experiments to test out those ideas, and sometimes we fail, and sometimes we succeed. And oftentimes, we're somewhere in between. and we take what we learn, we take the data, and then we improve on our experiments, and we tweak our hypothesis. And we should do that the same. We should do the same with our dreams. And just like in science, well, just like in a hypothesis, dreams lead you down a path that you least expect. And when you get to the point of this discovery, the moment of discovery, just like in science, it brings you joy, it always wow you, and you're always left in amazement. Sometimes your ideas are going to be proven, other times disproven. And what I learned is that it doesn't really matter because we meet people that we least expect and open doors to places, and you get amazing opportunities. And what's most important is that through projects, you keep flexing those muscles and you keep sharpening those skills so that when the right opportunity comes, you can grab it with both hands. And you don't have to have this like big story or this amazing kind of past. You can just be a regular guy with a good idea. And you don't need to let your job define who you are and have your dreams be out of reach. Connect with what you believe in and connect with your passions. And start a side project. Start a side project with a friend. Go have dinner and talk about ideas. And even just look at a TED Talk online. Because a lot of times what you see is that these people who are speaking start from a humble beginning. And all of them have these ideas. And these ideas go into something bigger. It informs their dreams, and their dreams define who they are. So I'm going to leave you guys with a cliche that definitely have proven true in my life. If you enjoy doing what you do, you'll never work another day in your life. So thank you, and dream on.